The day I stopped playing the good daughter didn't come with a dramatic fight or a tearful goodbye. It came quietly, right when I unlocked the door to my own condo and realized someone else had decided it belonged to them. My name is Winter Collins. I'm the kind of woman people describe as independent, in that backhanded way, like it's a phase instead of a life. I work long hours, I travel for my job, and every mortgage payment on that condo came out of my account. No cosigner. No help. No favors. Oh, when I dragged my suitcase across the threshold after a 4-day work trip, the first thing I noticed wasn't the noise. It was the light, blinding white light ring lights. 3 of them. Camera stands. A boom mic, cables taped across my hardwood floors like a production set. My couch, had been shoved aside to make room for a tripod pointed at the windows, and standing in the middle of it all, yelling into a camera like he was filming a victory lap, was my brother Logan. "Welcome back to the penthouse, guys," he shouted, flashing a grin at his phone. "This place is insane. Wait till you see the view." I just stood there, keys still in my hand, brain lagging behind my eyes. "Logan," I said. My voice sounded far away. "What are you doing in my condo?" He barely glanced at me. "Babe, I'm live," he muttered, waving a hand like I was a delivery driver who'd interrupted him. Then, louder for the audience. "Some people don't understand the grind. Ignore the background noise." Background noise. I took a step forward. "Get your stuff out. Now." That's when my mother appeared from the kitchen. Not surprised. Not apologetic. Just annoyed, like I'd come home early and ruined a plan. "Winter," she said, smoothing her cardigan. "Don't start. Logan's building his brand. Family has rights." I laughed once. Sharp, disbelieving sound. "Rights to my home." Logan finally turned the camera toward me. Toward my face. Toward my shock. "This is my sister," he told his followers, smiling thinly. "She's being dramatic because she doesn't like sharing. But this is my penthouse now. Tell her, Mom." My stomach dropped. "Winter," my mother said again, slower this time, like I was the unreasonable one. "You're hardly ever here. Logan needs space. You can grab your things and find somewhere else for a bit." Somewhere else, like I was a guest. Like I hadn't worked for years to afford those walls. Like my name wasn't the only one on the deed. I looked around. At my photos taken off the shelves, at my throw blanket folded wrong, at strangers' shoes by the door. Every detail screamed violation. Logan turned back to his phone. "See what I deal with? Negative energy. Anyway, smash that like button. This penthouse tour is gonna be fire." That's when something inside me went still. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I walked straight past them, down the hall, into my bedroom. They hadn't touched everything behind the false back of my dresser drawer. Something I'd installed years ago after a break-in scare was a slim black security drive. Months of footage. Entry logs. Audio. Proof that I pulled it out and smiled for the first time since I'd opened the door. Then I took out my phone and made one call, if you want to know what happened after that knock, and how that single call flipped my whole family upside down. Stay with me till the end. The knock came 20 minutes later. Not a polite one. Not a neighborly one. A heavy, official knock that cut straight through Logan's livestream chatter. I stepped out of my bedroom just as the front door swung open and 2 uniformed police officers entered my condo. My condo, while my brother's chat exploded in real time. "Yo, what's happening?" Logan laughed nervously into the camera. "This is wild, guys. Don't worry, it's just family stuff." One of the officers raised an eyebrow. "Sir, turn the camera off." Logan hesitated. The chat begged him not to. He lowered it slightly instead. That was his mistake. That I handed over my ID first. Teddy. Then the condo registration pulled up on my phone. Address, unit number, owner name, Winter Collins. Sole owner. No liens. No secondary residence. The older officer nodded and began writing. "So you're saying you returned from out of town and found unauthorized occupants using your residence for commercial filming?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "And I want it documented." Logan scoffed. "Commercial. It's content." The officer didn't look up. "Are you earning income from it?" "Well, yeah. ads, sponsorships. Then it's commercial. My mother stepped forward, flustered. Officers, this is a family thing. They're siblings. Surely we don't need police involvement. The younger officer finally looked at her. Ma'am, family doesn't override property law. The chat went silent for half a second. Then it erupted. Logan's face flushed. This is embarrassing, he hissed, forgetting the camera entirely. The officers walked through the condo, noting the equipment, the taped wires, the blocked fire exit. They warned Logan, on record, that continued filming would violate residential use regulations and could result in fines. When they left, Logan stared at me like I'd betrayed him. You really called the cops on your own brother? No, I said. I protected my home. That same afternoon I changed the smart locks. Every door. Every access code. I revoked Logan's permissions, reset the building app, and notified security that no one but me was allowed entry. Control didn't come back all at once, but it came back. Evening, my phone started lighting up texts. Missed voicemails. Family meeting, my mother texted. Tomorrow. Don't be difficult. They arrived the next day like they were staging an intervention. My mother carried a thick binder. Color-coded tabs. Printed listings. She laid it on my kitchen counter like a peace offering. I've done the research, she said. There are great places in Round Rock. Quieter. More your speed. Logan needs downtown access for his work. My work, I repeated. Why? Father nodded from the couch. Streaming is real money now, Winter. You're stable. You can adapt. Logan leaned back, arms crossed, smug. Family has rights, remember? I stared at the binder. Then I pushed it back toward her. No, my mother's smile cracked. Be reasonable. You want reasonable, said. Let's be factual. I connected my laptop to the TV. First clip. Logan's own video tour. Him strutting through my living room, claiming he'd bought the place with hard-earned ad money. The chat cheering. I paused the video, and the reflection of the glass cabinet behind him, clear as day, was my open laptop on the dining table. My bank app visible. Name. My balance. My account number partially exposed. My father shifted uncomfortably. Next. Photos. Scratches on the hardwood where tripods had been dragged. Stains on the rug. Adhesive residue on the walls where lighting had been mounted. Then the final document, a bank alert, a new account opened in my name. Same address. Not my signature. Silence filled the room. That's just paperwork, Logan said quickly. Too quickly. You hardly even live here. I closed the laptop. You opened a fraudulent bank account using my identity, I said. That's not paperwork. That's a felony. My mother's face drained of color. I stood up. You have 24 hours, I said, my voice steady, unshaking. Every piece of your gear out. No more filming. No more using my name or address. After that, I stop handling this as family. Logan laughed once. You wouldn't. I met his eyes. I already did. And for the first time he believed me. Nina came over that night with her laptop, 2 external monitors, and the kind of calm that only comes from someone who solves problems for a living. She's a cybersecurity engineer, the kind who notices patterns other people miss. The kind who doesn't get distracted by family drama when data tells a clearer story. She took one look at my face and said, Okay, start from the beginning. And don't protect anyone. That's when we pulled the security drive. What I thought would be a few uncomfortable clips turned into a timeline. We started with the entry logs. Logan's access spikes weren't random. They were clustered. Late nights. Early mornings. Then the footage. 2:03 a.m. Music blasting, doors slamming, Logan shouting, "Turn it up," while people spilled onto my balcony. 2:17 a.m. A neighbor knocking, unheard over the bass. 2:41 a.m. Logan on camera, laughing, pouring shots straight onto my kitchen counter. Penthouse rules. Nina didn't say anything. She just tagged the clips. Then we saw him flipping through my mail. Not accidentally. Deliberately. Holding envelopes up to the camera. Bills, 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 he joked to his audience. Adulting sucks, even when it's not your name. There were delivery packages addressed to Winter Collins, opened on stream while he joked about creator boxes. Sponsorship swag mixed with things I hadn't ordered. Another clip showed my work laptop on the dining table. Employer logo clearly visible. Confidential documents open behind him while he filmed a Q&A. Nina paused it. That's a professional liability nightmare. It got worse. My mother giving tours. Camera. Pointing out rooms. Our downtown place, she said cheerfully. Our investment property. By midnight we had hours of footage and a knot in my chest that wouldn't loosen. The next morning I met with Monica Hernandez, the building manager. She didn't smile when she saw the folder she brought with her. It was thick. Heavier than it should have been. Unlike your family, she said gently. I'm going to talk to you like a responsible adult with a serious problem. She opened the folder. Noise complaints from multiple floors. Written warnings about unauthorized filming in hallways. Police report already on file. Photos of ring lights blocking exits. Then she folded her hands. Our bylaws prohibit commercial operations in residential units, she said. The HOA can fine you heavily, or pursue legal action. They could force a sale. My throat went dry. They think you're complicit, she added. Because the account holder is you. When I told my parents, my mother waved it off. People are sensitive. We handled it. My father pulled me aside. Lowered his voice. We can help with fees. Don't nuke the golden goose. That phrase stuck with me. Don't nuke the golden goose over some paperwork. Nina came back that evening with coffee and a spreadsheet. Dates. Dollar amounts. Uber Eats charges under my name. During parties I wasn't even in the state for. Streaming donations funneled into the fraudulent account. Brand emails congratulating Logan on his property acquisition. This isn't a misunderstanding, Nina said quietly. It's a system. I stared at the screen, the pattern undeniable. Then I typed 4 words into my browser. Identity theft attorney Austin. I wasn't begging my family anymore. I was about to let the law explain it to them. Daniel Reed didn't flinch when I finished talking, not when I described the filming. Not when I mentioned the fraudulent account. Not even when I slid Nina's spreadsheet across his desk. He adjusted his glasses, leaned back in his chair and said, "Okay. Let's talk about how we end this." That sentence alone felt like oxygen. Daniel was calm in the way people get when chaos finally becomes structured. Mid-40s. Precise. The kind of attorney who didn't raise his voice because he didn't need to. His office overlooked downtown Austin, and for the first time since I'd come home from that work trip, I felt like I was sitting on the right side of the table. "This isn't just your brother crashing on your couch too long," he said, tapping the folder. "This is unauthorized occupancy, misuse of property, and misuse of identity for financial gain." He paused. "That's the polite way to say fraud." I swallowed. "That sounds nuclear." Daniel met my eyes. "Your family lit the fuse when they decided your life was a prop. You're just choosing not to stand in the blast zone." We started with the civil side that he broke it down like a chessboard. First, property damages. Scratches, stains, wall adhesive. Documented, dated, photographed. The condo wasn't just disrespected, it was altered for profit. Second, wrongful commercial use. The HOA violations. Police report. The live stream evidence. My home had been turned into a studio without consent, permits, or disclosure. Third, cease and desist. Immediate. Using my name, my address, my image, my property. Any content referencing the condo would have to come down. "And your parents?" I asked. Daniel didn't hesitate. "Included. Facilitators. They enabled access, misrepresented ownership, and participated in tours. They don't get to hide behind family." Then came the criminal side. He drafted letters to the banks, alerting them to the fraudulent account. Documentation attached. Footage timestamps included. He contacted the platforms Logan used. Not accusations, facts. False pretenses. Misrepresented assets. Monetization tied to property he didn't own. Finally, the brands. Truth is your shield, Daniel said. We're not threatening. We're correcting the record. I signed everything. 2 days later, the protective order was ready. The sheriff's deputy arrived mid-morning. I hadn't planned the timing, but of course that's when Logan and my mother showed up, arguing in the hallway about camera angles for apology content. The deputy stepped between us. "Logan Collins?" he asked. Logan froze. My mother's mouth fell open. "You're being served," the deputy said, handing him the papers. The hallway echoed. Doors cracked open. Phones lifted. My mother found her voice. "This is outrageous. You're treating him like a criminal." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "You destroyed your own careers when you decided my bank accounts and my deed were your brand strategy." Logan skimmed the pages, color draining from his face. "This is insane." My father tried one last angle. "We'll move Logan out when his current content calendar is done." I laughed. A short, humorless sound. "You already put it online," I said. "You only care now that someone is finally on yours." The fallout was immediate. Brands pulled deals within days. Emails turned cold. Sponsorship pages went dark. Platforms froze payouts pending investigation. Logan's follower count dipped, then dropped, then slid. My mother stopped calling. My father left one voicemail that started with "We need to talk" and ended with silence, and for the first time the question shifted. Was it sabotage to tell the truth after someone built a career on your stolen foundation? Or was it justice finally catching up? I locked my door that night, stood in the quiet of my reclaimed space, and realized something simple and devastating. I hadn't gone nuclear, I'd gone honest. And honesty, it turns out, has consequences. The mediation room didn't look like television courtrooms. No jury box. No dramatic music. Just a long table, neutral walls, and a screen mounted at the front that made everything feel uncomfortably official. Fluorescent lights buzzed softly overhead, and the air smelled faintly of paper and disinfectant. Still, the weight of it pressed down on my chest the moment I Saturday. This was real now. Logan sat across from me, tapping his foot like he was waiting for a delayed flight. His confidence, the kind he'd always worn like armor on camera, was already cracking. He'd dressed differently today. No branded hoodie. No ring light confidence. Just a wrinkled button-down and restless hands. My parents flanked him like bookends. Daniel Reed sat beside me. Legal pad open, pen poised. Ready. The mediator, a woman with steel gray hair and a voice that suggested she'd heard every excuse imaginable, opened the session. "This mediation concerns claims of unauthorized occupancy, commercial misuse of residential property, property damage, and identity fraud," she said. "We will begin with evidence review." Logan's jaw tightened. Daniel stood first. "Ownership," he said simply. Up went the first document on the screen. My condo deed. Name. My signature. The date. No ambiguity. No family understanding. No shared interest. Next came the bank records. The fraudulent account. The matching ISIN address. The deposits from streaming platforms. The mediator nodded slowly, making notes. Then the videos began. Clips Logan had once laughed through now played in silence. Logan holding my credit card on camera. "Perks of the penthouse," he joked, swiping it theatrically. Logan opening my mail. "Adult stuff," he laughed. "Boring." Logan claiming he bought the condo with ad money. My bank statement reflected in the glass behind him. I didn't look at my parents. I didn't need to. I could feel the tension rolling off them in waves when it was Logan's turn to speak. He leaned forward, palms up, like he was pitching a collaboration. "This is a misunderstanding within a family," he said. "I believed the property was shared. I used imprecise language. There was no malicious intent." Daniel didn't interrupt. Logan continued, warming to his own defense. "It's just content. People exaggerate. Everyone in this space does." The mediator raised an eyebrow. "Content does not exempt one from law." Then it was my turn. I stood. My impact statement wasn't dramatic. It didn't need to be. Thousands of dollars in property damage, I said. Potential HOA fines that could have forced a sale. My professional reputation exposed on camera. My identity tied to unauthorized financial accounts. I paused. I wasn't consulted. I wasn't asked. I was the last person they considered in decisions about my own life. Silence filled the room. Daniel slid forward the damage accounting. Floor refinishing estimates. Professional cleaning invoices. Repainting costs. Item replacements. Attorney fees. Full reimbursement. Logan's phone buzzed. Once, he glanced down, twice, the color drained from his face. The mediator noticed. Is there an issue? Logan swallowed. One of my brands just terminated discussions. The phone buzzed again. Second brand wants their deposit back, he muttered. Morality clause. For the first time his hands shook. The settlement terms were laid out cleanly. Logan would vacate all claims, on and off camera. Pay damages in installments. Cover a portion of legal fees. Sign admission of opening accounts without consent. Case file forwarded to the DA for potential charges. If he defaulted, my parents became liable, and in the hallway afterward my mother grabbed my arm. He'll be ruined, she whispered. I gently removed her hand. He's not being ruined. He's being required to pay for what he broke and what he stole. My father stared at the floor. We might have to sell the house. He nodded. What I want is to not be the only one paying for everyone else's choices anymore. Outside the courthouse, Logan avoided cameras. Online, the fallout was brutal. Followers vanished. Comments demanded answers. Penthouse content disappeared overnight. Live streams resumed from a bare room with a mattress on the floor, and creator circles. Word traveled fast. Taking a break to figure things out, Logan posted. I locked my door that night and sat in the quiet. Imagine watching the same people who called you selfish for protecting your own home finally face a fraction of the consequences they tried to dump on you. Would you feel guilty? Or would you, just for a moment, feel like justice actually existed? The first restitution payment came on a Tuesday. Probation officer stood beside Logan while he signed the paperwork at a small table in the county office. Neutral walls, no cameras, no drama. Just numbers, dates, and consequences. The check wasn't symbolic. It was real money, deducted from a life that had gotten very small very fast. Logan didn't go to jail. He took a plea deal. 2 years of probation, scheduled restitution, community service. He can't open accounts without approval. Can't use anyone else's identity. He lives in a shared place outside the city now. Works retail at an electronics store. No lease in his name because fraud follows you longer than followers do. Customers don't recognize him. No one asks for selfies. That might have been the hardest part. He apologized once. Not on camera. Not for an audience. I didn't set out to steal from you, he said. I just wanted to look successful so badly that I stopped caring what I was standing on. I thought you'd be fine. You're always fine. I believe you're sorry, I told him. That's not the same thing as trusting you. My parents sold the house. Downsized into a cluttered apartment. Church whispers replaced invitations. Golf buddies disappeared. They asked me for a joint statement to help rebuild Logan's brand. No cameras, I said. No statements. My mother accused me of clinging to resentment. Of choosing pride over family. Maybe from the outside it looked like pride. From the inside, it felt like survival. Why Condo feels like mine again. Repainted walls. Refinished floors. Better security, not for strangers but for family. Normal routines with Nina. Work. Yoga. I shared my story once, anonymously, on a forum about toxic families. Changed names. Changed cities. Hundreds of comments came in. I thought I was the only one. I keep contact limited now. Short text. Calls end when guilt starts. I stopped auditioning for the role of good daughter. Family is not a free pass to your life. Sharing blood doesn't give anyone rights to your home, your money, your future, or your sanity. Love without respect is just control. In prettier words, you're allowed to step back. You're allowed to draw a line. You're allowed to say, "This is mine." Going to court against your own brother will keep you up at night. Did. But every time I unlock my door and step into a peaceful home that's truly mine, I remember why I did it. Boundaries aren't betrayal. Sometimes they're the only way to protect the part of you that still believes you deserve better. And if you ever find yourself standing in your own doorway being told to move out of the life you built, remember this: you're not selfish for saying no. You're not cruel for choosing safety over someone else's comfort. You're allowed to keep what you worked for, and to walk away from people who treat your trust like free content.